This website exists to convert people who know that I exist into a lead. If you have that design principle in mind, you're always thinking about optimizing for getting people to request a quote, then that's going to really help you as you build out anything on your website. Hey, welcome back to the Lightspeed Social Agency Lawn Care Marketing Podcast. I am your host, as always, Cody Owen, sitting down, riding solo today. Want to talk to you about your lawn care and landscaping website. So big things here are we're going to talk about what it helps you do, kind of the core focus of your site, local SEO, all of that good stuff that goes into building a website that is a 24/7 sales front for your lawn care and landscaping business. So sort of the core thing here, what does a great landscaping website help you do? It helps you turn potential leads into leads. And that is the absolute core thing that you have to remember when you are thinking about your website. Anything that you want to add or remove or do to your website, think about it in those terms. This website exists to convert people who know that I exist into a lead. And so if you have that design principle in mind, you're always thinking about optimizing for getting people to request a quote, become a lead, then that's going to really help you as you build out anything on your website. So just real quickly, how can a website help a landscaping business generate leads and increase conversions? All of your marketing is hopefully going to funnel through your website, right? So if your website is doing better on its own, then it's going to naturally improve the results of all of your marketing, right? Most people are going to come into your lawn care business through the website, and most of your advertising is going to be pointed at the website. So it's really important that we make sure we reduce as much friction as possible between them hitting the website and them doing the next piece of action we want, which is becoming a lead requesting a quote. The way that a website can help with this is, number one, always being really clear about what you want the next step of action to be. So on your homepage, you probably just want to have them assume whatever quote is there, whatever quote request form comes in from there, you want to assume it's for your main service. This gets into kind of the structure of your website and how that should be laid out. You probably want a services dropdown at the top, or if it's few enough services to just have 2 to 3 in the nav bar itself. What you want is for people to, if they need something other than, let's say maintenance is your main service. I know some guys are like their main thing is weed and fert, and then there's projects after that. Whatever your core service is, that's what the homepage should be built around selling, with breakout pages for those additional services. So think about it in that kind of structure. Key elements that make conversions happen on your website are, number one, your CTA button standing out in a contrasting color to whatever your core color scheme is. If you have a super bright color that is part of your branding model, so say, all of your stuff is pink or all of your stuff is bright blue, then you might want to have like a white background to the website so that the CTA buttons can be really called out in your bright color. If you have a little bit more of a normal like green sort of lawn care business or neutral tones, then you can, use whatever bright contrasting color you want, but just make sure that it doesn't clash. So that's the main thing that I would recommend. Like, good copy obviously is important, but the biggest thing is if you've gotten them to this website, we want them to see the CTA button, for it to have a request your quote now sort of language on it. And then we want that quote form to be as little information as you can require of them to get to the next step in the process, right? We don't want them to click the form and see 10 things that they have to fill out and a multiple choice test to hit submit. We want name, address, phone number, like as simple as we can get it. Email address, if you're going to have some automation behind this, I would really recommend collecting the email address, honestly. We want that built out as simply as possible so that there is no friction introduced at the next stage of the funnel, right? When there is, a whole list of things you have to do to request a quote, that's going to make people jump out of the funnel. And we want to get them in because at this point, we don't even have their contact info. We can't reach back out to them to push things along. So especially at this very first step, we want to make it as easy as possible for them to tip themselves over into the funnel. Big things to think about otherwise on your website to help conversions. Social proof. That's client testimonials, awards that you've won in the community. This is why it can be valuable to campaign for those local, like the local magazine award, whatever is going on that makes you, best of your town. Be thinking about, that's where these things come into place, being able to put that on your website that you guys won. Good client testimonials with a photo of the project. What I think would be, 5 stars here is a photo of the client with their home in the background with the awesome work that you guys did, and then calling out their 5-star review. We're working with Nearby now to add this to clients' website where we've got the opportunity to show where you're working and reviews that have come from that. So if you need help with that, or if you're an existing client and you want us to, bump you to the top of that list, let me know. I'd be happy to take care of that for you. Common mistakes that landscaping businesses make when they're designing their website. Biggest thing I see here is like a focus on equipment and the things that guys who own lawn care and landscaping businesses care about, that customers and potential customers probably care a little less about than you think. I know that, the way a lot of guys would defend this is saying, well, it shows how professional we are and that we have access to the right equipment and all of that. Your website needs to sell your professionalism with the quality of the work that you put out, less so the shiny objects that you have access to. So I think it's really important here to consider as much as possible from the perspective of someone who doesn't care about how it gets done. They care about the result, right? And this is a big trap that people fall into when they're working on their marketing, is they don't think about the feeling that the person is going to have at the end of the job. They think about everything else that's in that. So we want to remember that we are always selling with emotion and then helping people justify with logic. So use that as sort of a metric as you're putting things on the website. Does this serve the purpose of getting the potential lead to become a lead? Does this push them to request a quote for this service? Or is this me just wanting to show the cool thing that I took a picture of? So evaluate those photos on that basis. Other mistakes I see is like not having the copy written by a professional copywriter. Even if you don't work with Lightspeed to get this done for you, if you obviously, if you need help with the copy on your website, I'm happy to take a look at that. You can reach out to me directly. But, hiring someone who has done marketing writing before is really valuable. It's a different set of language skills than even someone who is talking to you. They might be really persuasive. They might be a salesperson. It's different to be able to write natural language on a website that pushes people to convert. So I would think about working with a professional on that end. As far as building your website goes, I think that you can work with someone like Green Frog Web Design, our friend Ezra McCarthy over there who sponsors the show. They do absolutely fantastic work. I'll have a link to their website in the description here. They provide a quality service at a great price. And I know for a fact that Ezra works his tail off to get people exactly what they need for their website. And his guarantee is super stellar. If they do not get your website live as quickly as he promised, you get your website free for an entire year. I don't know anyone else in the lawn care and landscaping marketing game that is offering something like that. So reach out to Green Frog Web Design if you need help with your website. Okay, how can a landscaping business use Facebook retargeting ads to reach potential clients? This is the secret sauce of every digital ads campaign. Once you've been running ads for a minute, you have an audience that has engaged in some way but has not converted. We need to get back in front of these people. These are people who hit your website, who liked a photo, who engaged a little bit with the page, but they have not taken the step to request a quote yet. We need to get back in front of those people. This is super easy to do. We have a video on our YouTube channel about how to do it. If you're not subscribed over there, please go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date on the latest in lawn care and landscaping marketing. But you create this custom audience based on people who have hit the website, people who have engaged with your page, your Instagram. And usually you want to filter that audience as well by geography so that you're only getting people in your service area. If you have, green industry friends who are supporting you from out of state, you got family members who are supporting you from out of state, we want to make sure we eliminate them if they aren't in your service area and aren't already a customer. So you want to use that audience as an opportunity to get back in front of the right people, to get you, in your initial audience, you're going to get, probably like 5 touches with people before they, are not paying attention anymore. But with the retargeting campaign, it's going to be people who engaged a little bit but didn't fully raise their hand. And we want to have a shift in creative there. So what I would recommend is if you have a company intro video, which we've been talking about a lot recently, if you have that created and living on the homepage of your website, your retargeting campaign is a great opportunity to reuse that, to get it in front of people who haven't, maybe seen it on your website yet, get it to autoplay in front of them on Facebook or Instagram so that they're seeing you, they're connecting you with the brand that's been advertising to them. And it just gives a little personal touch. It's that hint of one-to-one selling that is hard to maintain as you scale the business. But you get that one-to-many effect of kind of introducing them to the company, showing them some of your work. It's just a really powerful way to retarget people. I think that is going to help you out quite a bit as you're growing the business. So this was a little bit shorter of an episode this week. We had some unexpected things come up internally, but I want to make sure that the episode gets out the door to you, so I'm recording it now. Make sure, if you're watching this on YouTube, to give us a like, even though it was a shorter episode, and make sure to give us 5 stars in whatever podcast app you're listening on if you're listening while you're out in the field. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next week.